Thank you. I don't know who was here the last time that I got to be up here and speak, but I did a formal presentation, so I thought we'd kind of skip that today and make it a little more informal. And before I forget, because I will get so engrossed in all of our activities and talking about the Senior Center, I will forget that Miss Lana Avery is here with me today. She is our volunteer coordinator and is a very important part of our team. So Lana, would you come up and talk a little bit about what you do for us?
Well, all of us at the Senior Center wear many hats, some big hats and some little hats. My two big hats, first is I'm volunteer coordinator. And 4 years ago, before Randy even came, I started volunteering at the Senior Center. Wasn't much going on. And one of the things I realized is they had no process to get volunteers. It's just kind of you came in, you got to volunteer. So Randy came in, and he came around and asked all of us, maybe 5 that were there, people, and said, what does the Senior Center need? And I said, a volunteer coordinator. And he said, you're the volunteer coordinator. So that's how I got that. And then a couple years later, he finally said, well, you're here 20 hours a week, we're going to pay you. So that worked out well. When I started, there were like 52 volunteers, and most of those delivered Meals on Wheels, because every week it takes we have about 50 to 60 people that deliver Meals on Wheels, because some are couples. So it takes a lot. We now have 175 volunteers, and about 100 of those are involved in Meals on Wheels, and the others do anything from teaching classes to working in the kitchen, working in the office, socializing with our members, and other things we do. We have quite a few volunteers, drivers even, in their 90s. And our youngest is 23, which I'm really proud of because he's my grandson. But so it's all ages, anybody can volunteer there. And then the other hat I wear, big hat I wear, I'd heard that some senior centers have programs that help Meals on Wheels participants feed their pets. So Randy's an animal lover. We're all animal lovers. So I went to him and he said, well, put a survey out to our Meals on Wheels people to see if they need help. And one of the questions was, have you ever skipped a meal or shared your meal with your pet so that they would eat first? And several came back and said yes. And Randy said, we won't have that. So we've started a program. We're on our 2nd year now. It's not funded by us at all. It is funded by bingo. Randy calls bingo, most of you know, 2 nights a week an initiative, and 1 night now, a couple times a month at Rimrock. And the tip jar all comes to our Passion for Pet programs, and that is how we get our food to feed the dogs that we feed and the cats. Local Paws also helps us quite a bit. They talk to their distributors, and every few months they'll get us some food. But those are just great programs. I've got about 30 pets on the program right now, and we don't ever have to worry that somebody has to make a choice between their food and their pet's food, because we know how important it is for our seniors to have their pets. So those are the main things I do. I don't know if I've forgotten anything. The other things are just whatever Randy or Janine tells us to do.
I would hope that we ask, but sometimes we tell. No, and Lana's wonderful. We lost our line dance instructor a couple weeks ago. She had been teaching at the Senior Center for 10 years and teaching line dance for over 40 years. She had just turned 82, and she had a heart complication. So we offered to host the reception after the funeral, and Lana hadn't even signed up to volunteer, but she just jumped right in and helped, and we pulled off a wonderful event for the family and all the line dancers, and so we all chip in, and
that's what we do.
It
really is a family.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Lana. I feel very fortunate because I don't know how many of you know that I'm from California, and I know. But my whole family moved up here in '85. I went to high school in Madras and then moved back to California for quite a few years and am recently back. In all my time in California, I have never been so involved with organizations. The Redmond Senior Center, I also do hair in the afternoons at a hair salon, and Kiwanis. that it's just the energy is so positive and so collaborative, and it just makes my heart swell. I'm very proud to be part of this community and everything that I'm involved in. So back to the Senior Center. We just recently got to complete all new flooring. We got ripped out all of the carpet and replaced it with a solid surface flooring, which is really nice. It'll make it much easier to clean. We do still have carpet in the entryway in the offices. Entryway, I proposed that just so that when it's raining or snowing, it doesn't get tracked in on those hardwood floors, and well, not hardwood floors, but solid surface floors and make them slippery. But they're the carpet tiles like this, so they're easy to replace as they get used. That was provided by a block grant that Randy applied for, so that was really wonderful. Please pop by or jump on Facebook and see some of the pictures. It looks so much bigger, so much brighter. The next project that we're hoping to do is repaint and brighten it up even more. We kind of have a beige color on the walls, which is fine, but it just doesn't reflect the light well, and we really want it to look bright and positive. We now have a strategic planning committee, which is dedicated solely to the future of the Redmond Senior Center and making sure we have a long-term plan for the next 20 years to still be able to help our seniors and be here for that community. Our activities, I put a few of these out on the table. I didn't bring a whole lot of them. This is our bi-monthly news magazine, and it will follow the health topic of the month, or the 2 months that it encompasses. And that is based on the national standard of whatever the topic for the month is. And I'm awful because I didn't look at this and see what these months are. So May is mental health, and June is brain health awareness. So kind of ties in together, and James does a wonderful job putting this all together and giving lots of information. To cut down on paper a little bit, and the magazines, because this is a huge task, he usually cuts it from about 36 pages down to under 30. I think we're at 28 this time. He's decided to do it bi-monthly instead of every month. UPS is wonderful, and they actually print these for us for free, and then we have volunteers that come in and assemble them for us. So in between, when we're not getting that other magazine, he has developed a little double-sided page called Between Moments. And that will just outline Redmond Senior Center activities only and what's coming up. And on the back, instead of having 1 month, like we would just have the month of May, we weren't releasing the next month until the final week of May, which can be hard because one of our most popular activities is Angela's cooking class, and it's the first Monday of each month. So if you're not getting that activity calendar until Wednesday before that, you're not sure what's on the menu, what's cooking, and it fills up quick. She can only take 8 people for that cooking class. There's just not enough room in our kitchen for more than that. So we're rotating, and so this comes out every other week, and it will have the next 4 weeks moving forward. So even this one has a week of June in there so people can see those cooking classes. Our newest activity is a sewing class. I just found out today that we're having some sewing machines donated to us, so people that don't have a sewing machine won't have to bring their own. You are welcome to bring a sewing machine. And I think they've got pillowcases, table runners, and aprons coming up on their project list. So that's a fun activity we were happy to add. And that was at the suggestion of one of our volunteers who's leading it. And a lot of our activities, that's how they come about. A volunteer has an idea or a skill and they want to share. And so we invite them to do that. We are having our first ever golf tournament, which we're really excited about. Several of our members and a few of our board members live out at Eagle Crest. So it's actually one of our board members that's leading this for us. It was her idea. And so she has put together a little community, and we'll be having a golf tournament in July. It's July 17th at Eagle Crest. There's a flyer in each of those magazines if anybody's interested. We're going to do something new this year. During Christmas time, just before Thanksgiving, and then, well, actually, I guess just after Halloween, huh? I'm sure you guys all know Central Oregon is just filled with vendor markets for the holidays. And so we had a very successful one, just kind of on a fluke. And so the next year we said, yeah, let's do it again. Not so successful. It's hard finding a weekend where there's not a ton of competition. So we're actually going to do a fall festival. It's going to be the week before our Rocktoberfest. And we're partnering with the Fire and Rescue Department for their community service day. So both parking lots are going to be full of activities and family-friendly things to do, get the kids involved with the fire department. And we just figured people that would come to our event would be like, oh, what's happening over there? People that go to theirs would be like, oh, what's happening over there? So we plan to have wellness vendors. We have had wellness fairs in the past, so we're going to combine that with a vendor craft fair. We plan on having music and food and beverage carts and just have a great day. That will be September 19th, I believe, is the date on that. So there is a flyer in there. If anybody does have a craft or has an idea for a vendor, there's a vendor application in here. Let's see, what else is going on? We are looking for some board members, I believe.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe one.
Okay, he sent me an application, Randy did. And I'm looking into it because she's our president.
Yes.
So if anybody's interested in, further volunteering, because I know, Kiwanis never has anything for us to do. So if you guys need something to do, you can come on over to the Redmond Senior Center. If you want to be on our board, we welcome the applications. And Meals on Wheels is stronger than ever. I have noticed a little bit of a drop in certain communities, and I think it's because with the easier access with grocery stores delivering, I think people are ordering from grocery stores instead of prepared meals, because then they can order exactly what they want. So Crooked River Ranch, which we serve as well in Terrebonne, Crooked River Ranch, definitely I see the Walmart delivery trucks quite a bit with groceries. So I would like to see our numbers grow out there. I know there's still a need out there, even though the numbers have dropped just a little bit. But other than that, our numbers are strong. Our drivers, Alana used to have to send out probably daily text messages asking for somebody to cover a route. And now we have routes filled for 4 to 6 weeks in advance. So it's a really strong program, really proud of it. I started as the Meals on Wheels coordinator, so it's definitely my baby and close to my heart. We will be having our second annual car show June 19th, and that's the Friday before Father's Day. And we'll be closing down our parking lot, and we had some really great classic cars last year. But anybody that has a show car, it doesn't have to be a classic car. Any car, vehicle that they like to show off, anybody's welcome for that. And what else do we have going on, Lana?
I just wanted to point out that Truman is one of my most dependable drivers for Meals on Wheels deliverers. I think in the time I've been there, he's had maybe one day off. So I love Truman, and he's going to thank him for that.
My problem is the opposite. I want more
I
clients.
know you do. We got you one today, I think.
Yep. We've got 70 new starting on your route tomorrow, so next week you'll have a new client. Yeah, Truman's always asking for more clients. His route's a smaller one, but he always is happy to do it. I guess the last thing I really wanted to talk about was our well-being series. I'm not super involved with that. James, Angela, and one of our board members, Sharon, is involved with that. And they meet twice a month. The first time they meet, they really talk about in depth and have guest speakers on whatever the topic for that month is. So this month it'll be the mental health. And then the second time they meet, it's more of a discussion forum, and they talk more about it. When you attend, you get this journal, and this is really great because it goes over each topic for the month. And then it helps you just set goals, and you can write down your concerns, your goals, all kinds of stuff. I think this is amazing. James and Sharon put this together, and I think it's so valuable. And part of that, too, is the wellness calendar. And so every month it's the same thing. It's the topic of the month and a little bit of information on it. So Those have been really popular. Actually, he has a hard time keeping these in stock. I think we get about 45 people every month to the well-being talks. So, any questions? Yes?
Do you have any plans to expand?
Wow, shooting right for it. Yes. I would say not necessarily plans, but dreams. The strategic planning committee is definitely about also trying to expand our building. Randy has a really great plan to knock out to the south. The only way we can't move out is to the north, and it's just code restrictions for the sidewalk and whatnot. So we can go a little bit to the east, a little bit to the south, and a little bit to the west. One of the most brilliant things that I think he came up with is putting in a theater-style room so that we host CORE, and I don't think that's what they call it anymore, but it's Central Oregon Realtors Association, or Association of Realtors, every Wednesday for their tour of homes. And so having a theater would not only have a bigger screen for them, but it would have the staggered seating so that people could see. And then we also wouldn't have to set up all the tables and chairs. That gets tiresome. But we have a wonderful volunteer that lives like 2 blocks away, and we can call him at the last minute and he'll come set up for us now. And that's been really helpful too. So we're looking at ways that we can fund that. We are owned by the city, so it's not our building. Anything would have to be approved through the city of Redmond. We have that dream, definitely, and we meet once a month to try and talk about how to get there. But then Randy's biggest goal with that committee is also just securing funding and grants for the future. So, yeah, it would be wonderful to expand. I don't know how we could do it. We really need more parking. There are certain days you come and you just can't find a parking spot because of all the classes we have going on. We rent out our gymnasium to Parks and Rec, and it's my understanding with a meeting that I had with Katie that she plans to still hold a few senior classes at our facility, which will be wonderful. And we're also introducing some of our own exercise classes to fill the gap when they have their new building. So, thank you, Earl. Yes?
Just a comment. I do have some association with the organization, so take it with a grain of salt.
Board member as well.
When I came into this community, one of the first things I noticed or read about in the local paper, we still took the paper, was that this organization was on its last legs. They were talking about maybe 2 or 3 months and they would have to go under. In the meantime, they have resurrected this organization to it is a viable organization anymore. We don't have to spend our time all the time on raising money. Just in case you want to join the board or join an organization, we would be glad to have you. But all of you probably know somebody who's our age, my age at least. I don't know about all you young ones, but we need to find people who need that help, who need somebody to talk to, need somebody to visit. This organization has it. If you can go down any time at lunchtime, $5 is what it costs you to have a meal. And talk to people who are there. People I didn't know existed. And as I go around their community, to see them, to hear their stories. That's really, really important. It is as important to us as a community as helping our kids. We know we want to help those kids, but those kids get old. And so we need to help them when they get old. And that's where we're at. So anything you can do to help us. If you can play golf and join our golf tournament, we'd love to have you. If you can come down and help the Meals and Wheels so that Truman can take a day off. If you like to line dance, if you like to play pickleball, if you like to have your toenails cut like I do from time to time, there's a place you can go to do that. And it's right there. And if you have relatives, in-laws, somebody who has some health issues, they can come down and find ways to talk to people free about those kind of issues. So please, don't write this off as just another program. This is a great program, and we have a great leader in Joanne. Thank you for listening to me.
Well, I think I'm going to have to say something, I guess, obviously. You pointed at me and talked about, thank you, Earl, you've done a great job. And Janine and Lana, you can understand why things are jumping and moving and growing. But yes, we do continue to need all of the support. I don't know whether you realize it or not, but I think you're all aware that the youth numbers in our community are declining. And as those decline, the seniors that live in our county and tri-county area has grown, and we now represent about 30% of the population in the greater Central Oregon area. So there is a great need for this to continue. And the city owns the building. The city is growing the city. They assume that the seniors are going to take care of themselves. So we are not a line item in their budget, but their continuing tremendous support has been through the building itself. We pay $1 a month to be there. So that's wonderful, and I want to give them full credit. But, you know, we talk with the mayor and management and talk about growth, and they say, as soon as you can fund it, we'll be right there with you. So that's what we're looking for, and it's very important. Thank you, Earl. Thank you, ladies.
And I really have to give Randy credit. Randy came in almost 3 years ago. And I know that Joanne, a few years even before that, was in on the committee that saved the senior center. It was going to have its doors closed. And so Joanne really went in and took the charge and, you know, got a budget going, and this is what it needs to run, and finding an executive director that would support that and help it grow. And we hear from members all the time, oh, I haven't been here since before COVID, and it's so wonderful, it's grown so much. But we also are a place for information. So it's not just about coming and hanging out at our senior center, it's about coming for information. We have a whole wall of community information. The most valuable resource is put out by the Council on Aging, and it's called Directions. And it's a magazine that provides housing referrals and legal referrals and anything a senior may need to accomplish whatever they need. And it's just a whole big fat book of information, and that is in our lobby. People stop in all the time and grab that, and they don't need anything else from us, and that's okay. So, but it is a great social place. My favorite story, I call him Grumpy Gus because I would never give out his real name. He complains multiple times a week to one of the staff members about how he doesn't align with anybody there, and he just complains all the time, but he shows up every day. And if you catch him on a good day sitting in his rocking chair and you look a little lost, he'll even start a conversation with you and ask you if you're looking for something and show you the way. So even Grumpy Gus, as much as he complains about us, I know deep down he loves us. So, all right, any other questions? Yes, Elizabeth?
So if we wanted to come as a group to Kiwanis or to the senior center for lunch, would it be easier for you to send us a date and say whoever wants to come, or do you want maybe Barb and I or somebody to organize a date and then let you know numbers? Or?
So I would say the only day that's not a good day is a Thursday.
Okay.
That's when we have bingo at 1 o'clock. Most people come for lunch and stay for bingo, and there's not a free seat in the dining room. So we could accommodate you on a Thursday. We would just need to know to set up some extra tables. Mondays are relatively quiet. Tuesdays are relatively quiet. Food is always great. Food is put out, the menus are put out once a week, and it's available on Facebook. James does a great job of scheduling all those posts on Facebook. So there's golf information, the Harvest Palooza, all of that. There's a flyer on Facebook and rotating on our page. And I eat there almost every single day, and there's maybe 1 or 2 items in a year that it's not my favorite thing. So the food is
We
great.
came as a group, could we stay for bingo?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the bingo players and members just donated 100 new bingo cards because the week before they were telling people they couldn't have multiples because we didn't have enough. So now we have extra bingo cards. So yeah, if you want to stay for bingo, I believe it's $2 to play.
For the first 4 games, $2 covers all 4 games. And then if you want to play blackout, that's another $2.
So $4 total.
To play.
Bingo.
At Initiative.
Yeah, initiative.
Yeah, Tuesday nights at Initiative, 5:30 to 7:30. Randy calls, and Randy's so fun. He's just a nice guy. And he makes it a lot of fun at Initiative, and that all those tips go to the Passion for Pets program.
One more question, could we all go to bingo together too?
Yeah, absolutely. I would just recommend getting there early. Initiative doesn't have a lot of seats. It's not a big space, but the food's wonderful. The staff is amazing, and bingo's a lot of fun. Okay. All right. There's so many activities I could tell you guys about, so I left some calendars in the books. I encourage you to read them and see if there's anything you or family members would enjoy to do. Access to the seniors provided by CET, Cascade East Transit, and they also run Dial-A-Ride. So we are one of the stops on their normal routes. And there is a program, if people are just homebound and they can't make it, but they need those connections. There is a program through Council on Aging called Caring Connections, and that is a 30-minute a week commitment to a phone call or an in-person visit. And I know that they have more applicants than they do volunteers. So if anybody is interested in that, call Council on Aging and ask about the Caring Connections program. All right, any other questions? Great, thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you, Doc.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Get our smiley faces. 1, 2, 3. Okay. That would be one.